Here's some things that I learned on my journey to get a book deal. I've been writing for a long time, and it took me a long time to be able to get a book deal, but I have a book that's getting published. It's called Sky's End, and it's coming out in spring 2024 by Peachtree Team. The first thing I learned is that it is so important to trust your reader. Don't spell things out for them when you're writing. Make sure that they are figuring things out. Readers like to figure things out. They like to be guessing what is going to happen next. And they also sometimes feel satisfied when they figure it out. Or sometimes they're like, oh, I have this figured out, and then something else happens, like a plot twist. They can really enjoy that. Furthermore, you want to respect your reader. When I wrote my very first book, it was not very good. And I sent it off to people that I trusted to read my book, and it was miserable for them. And some of them didn't even finish the book. And they were like really awkward around me because they didn't like my book. My book wasn't very good. Like imagine if, you will, you are playing the piano and you've been playing it for a few months, and then you invite all these people to come listen to you play the piano. But instead of it being like a recital that lasts like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it goes on for like 12 hours. Okay, how miserable your audience would be. And that's how my readers were. I think it's really important that we're always putting our best foot forward with whatever book that we have, and it's always our best, highest quality. We're not skipping steps. Next thing I learned is that the publishing industry is so subjective. I've received rejections that'll tell me, hey, I love the voice in this, but I didn't connect with the plot. And then on the flip side, I've received rejections that say the exact opposite. Hey, I didn't really connect with the voice, but I love the plot. I also learned that rejections, they're going to be so brutal. You're going to get rejected a lot. I got rejected hundreds of times. And every author who's gone onto their publishing journey and made it at some point, or I should say made it, who got a book deal, they have that devastating book rejection they all can talk about. And I have multiple ones like that, and they hurt like thinking about. They're just brutal. The next thing I learned is that I should always be focused not necessarily just on the goal of getting published, but on the goal of getting better. Push yourself to become the best writer that you can be. In each book that you write, you are going to get better. And so it's not like this static sort of thing that this is who you are now and it's who you are always going to be. You can always get better. You know, if I showed you what my first book looked like, you'd be like, he's a terrible author, because I was a terrible author. But if you look at what I'm at now, and you'd be like, they're not even the same, you wouldn't even think they're written by the same person. The next thing I learned is that part of publishing is a little bit of luck too. It's not just about writing a great book, it's about writing a great book at the right time. You might write a great book and you get it sent off to a literary agent, and that agent just signed somebody else with a similar book as you, even though your book is great. And the next thing I learned is that perseverance really is key. If you want to make it, you're just going to have to keep trying. Keep writing books. Okay, if one doesn't work, write another one. That one doesn't work, write another one. That one doesn't work, write another one. Finally, writing for yourself is so important. Make sure that you care about what you're writing about, that you're passionate about it, because it's going to reflect in the writing. And even if the book doesn't get picked up, even if it doesn't get published, you express yourself in some meaningful way. Additionally, there's lots of authors, this happens. They get a book that gets published, it does well, and then suddenly all these other books that they've written that were good books that never got picked up, suddenly publishers or their agent are interested in them. If you'd like to hear more writing tips from me, or if you want to hear more about my book, just tap that follow button.